All right, so here is the 1084 high carbon Gyuto that we just forged, okay? So the handle's been fitted up, it's been sharpened. We're gonna give it away to someone who leaves a comment down below. The handles, the olive and ebony handles, you can get them in the description off through my Amazon links or through my website, okay? So grab a couple of handles. They're great, they're inexpensive, they're quality. Stay tuned, watch the video if you're interested in learning how to forge. We did this knife completely by hand. No power hammer, no power tools. Really informative. Hope you like it. We're gonna do another knife forging demo. We're gonna do a chef's knife today. We'll actually finish this one. You know, I'm kind of bad about that. In another video, not this one, I'm gonna forge a kukri as well. And we're gonna do this all by hand. And that will be in another video. But I'm gonna forge both these knives at the same time today. So our first step on our chef's knife is, we have, this going on right here. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate some material for our tang. So we're gonna hot cut, okay? Hot cut, hardy hole. We're gonna hot cut a notch. We're gonna isolate some material for our tang. This will be our blade, okay? Then we're gonna forge this, into a chunky little nub, okay? That'll eventually will forge out farther into more of like a rat tail for our tang for when we do our burn through. But for now, we wanna leave it thick. All right, we don't wanna forge it out. We don't wanna taper it out. We wanna leave it nice and chunky. That way we have something to hold on to with our tongs so that we can forge out our blade. If you taper it out now, it'll heat up too quickly, too easily, and it'll get all floppy and flimsy, and it'll be very difficult. All right, enough talking. For now, all we're really worried about is we're worried about the chef's knife. So I know there's two knives in there. There's a kukri in there. That'll be for another video. You'll have to watch that one. But in there on the right side, we have our chef's knife and our house-made Apollo. I got 4 of these things. They're great. I bought every single one. I'm not sponsored by Brian, even though he's a super cool guy. He's a friend of mine, but I bought all 4 of these things. And I have 6 of these house-made Revolution grinders. I have 3 already built. I got 1 over there on a table. And I got 2 over here. And I got 3 in boxes that I gotta build because I'm just like swamped with this class. But anyway, here's the addition that I did to my shop. I'm just standing outside now. But I did another 25 by 50 onto the shop. Bought a couple more power hammers, a heat treating oven. It's getting wild. So we're just gonna wait for these to heat up and then we'll get started. Oh, I should probably mention, we want to have our notch just over the corner of the anvil there. We don't want to have, any of the blade over the edge of our anvil. We're going to isolate that material and forge it into a halfway tang. little chunky nub. So we're gonna turn it around now. Okay. And we're gonna heat up our blade now. Okay, so the next step in our chef's knife, okay, we've kind of achieved this here. That didn't erase very well, but anyway, we got our little tang now. The goal here is we're gonna try to achieve a little bit of a taper here. All right, we're gonna change the shape. That ended up looking cool, okay, because we have what our original outline we can still see. So we're trying to forge this shape, you know, by forging along the spine, focusing more out here at this transition where our slope begins, forging that down, changing the overall shape of our knife, okay? Step 3. All right, so from here, we're gonna look for a length in our blade, okay? And we're gonna get that with our cross beam. All right, so now we're looking for length in our blade, okay? So we're gonna use our cross peen of our hammer, which moves metal dynamically in 2 directions, okay? Whereas the rounding hammer, you know, it forges the steel and moves it in every direction other than slight angles that you have in your hammer. So we're gonna draw out a couple of inches of length out of our blade. All right, so from here we're gonna start forging our bevels. And this downward swoop is intentional, this talon-like shape, okay? When we forge our bevels, when we taper our spine to our edge, as we thin out the bevel, there's nowhere for the metal to go. So it's gonna squish out towards the point, and that downward hook is gonna straighten out, and the spine will straighten up as we get closer to the point. So it kind of looks a little strange at this point, but you can see where I stayed focused, stayed hyper-focused in this first, hammer width section of the knife, okay? So we're forging out our bevel. We're working metal from the spine to the edge, not across to the point. We're working in hammer width sections, forging a bevel on both sides of the knife, and when we get the appropriate taper, we'll move over. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but it's happening. Forged my little signature swoop in my choil. If you've ever looked at my work, that's how I do that. So we got a nice little Gyuto. We'll work on straightening it up later, but we got a real solid distal taper, you know, coming from out of the tang progressively out to the point. A real solid taper in our choil. Oh, there we go. Okay, again, we'll work on straightening it up later. And our edge. Look at our bevel that we achieved. Beautiful. So now it's time to forge out our tang. So we've got the tang heating up in the forge. We're gonna lay the tang in that 90 degree, or what's nearly a 90 degree angle between the choil and the tang. Just like that. And we're gonna rotate back and forth 90 degrees, hammering down on the tang, and we're gonna taper it out, starting out at the tip, working towards the actual knife. All right, we're nearly there. The tang can use a little bit more work. I like to have a 1/4 inch taper out to 1/8 of an inch, and about a 1/2 of an inch tapered out to about 1/4. That's my other dog, Hugo, barking. Cows walking across the pasture probably. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, that's 95% of the way there. We got to straighten it up a little bit and we'll be done. All right, one forged chef's knife. So from here, we're just gonna refine our shape on the belt sander, okay? So we cranked up our 2x72, and we're gonna hog off a little bit of material here and refine our shape. So we're getting ready to do our burn through on our handle. We got these nice olive and ebony handles. These are available on my website and on my Amazon store link thing. So you can pick these up until you get really good at shaping handles. These are a great cost-effective way. You save money with time on belts, you know, until you get good practicing. These are great. We're a little hot. We're going to let that cool off a bit. Okay. Okay, nothing to it. Okay. Does that look good? All right, so we're gonna quench our knife. We did our normalization off of camera. I'll do a whole different video about heat treating in a forge, but we're just gonna go ahead and quench. Into the water, which is off camera. Okay, and we're good. Check for straightness. Not bad. All right. Now we're gonna temper and do our glue up, or temper, sharpen, and glue up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and grind our bevel in on our knife. The edge is pretty thin, so we don't have much to do. All right, so the giveaway knife is done. Sharpened, handle fitted up. Now we can shave a nice clean area with it. So don't forget, leave a comment down below to enter into the giveaway, okay? See you on the next one.